Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you may be. Maybe you're at work, slave driving for people that don't appreciate your work or efforts. But I guess that's about everywhere. But I'm sure there are exceptions somewhere. Maybe you're at home on your phone or your laptop, just sitting and chilling, either listening or drawing along with this stream. Regardless if you're watching live or the replay, thank you for tuning in to this edition of Sketching Past Midnight Live. And I am, of course, your host, CB Smallwood. And let's go ahead and get started. No news today. I want to make this a short video, um, mainly because I just want to draw, and I like to draw uh, when uh, when you're all here hanging out. Um, I don't have too much to report really, but I do have a few interesting things maybe I can share as I try to figure this stuff out. And first and foremost, you're looking at what is page 20 of the WILDCAT Anthology. I got my thumbnails here, and you know, you can kind of see how some of these things worked out. This turned into a double page spread, and what would have been page 19 turned into page 20 instead, you know. And I got all these little scribbles because sometimes focus camera. I got all these little scribbles because before I start to ink or something, I might do like a little warm up, or there's that little gunk that's on the end of pens and stuff, and I just don't want to get it all over my drawings and kind of mess them up. So I like using a scrap sheet of paper to kind of work that out beforehand, and that's pretty much the only reason I got this here in the first place. Is um, after I do my thumbnails and stuff like that, I usually use these papers as um, something to just scratch on, doodle on, and that sort of thing. Don't like to waste paper if I can help it. I like to get the biggest use out of it as possible. So what I'm doing right now on page 20, the idea behind this is that apparently the whole anthology is nothing but a dream, you know, or is it? Or is it a dream? You know, it's one of those things. Was it a dream? Is it a dream? Because it felt very real. And WildCat wakes up from his apparent dream or whatever, and he's trying to make sense of everything. And I tried to convey the idea that he had something that's sort of like the equivalent of a nightmare a little bit. So I've got like, and I really don't know if you can tell. Let me lower this. I got like a pillow here with my rendition of my attempt to render cotton coming out of the pillow, little cotton balls or whatever. Though they look like what do you call those things that were on the original Star Trek that Captain Kirk and the Enterprise had to deal with? Those little furry things. So I got those all over the bed. I attempted to show like a pillow ripped, and more of that stuff coming out. Something else that I originally did, but I erased, was I shown that the blanket that he has over top of him was entirely it was a mess. You know, it had tears and cuts and stuff like that. But as I was rendering this, I felt like the overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm content. I'll put it that way, except for this part right here. But I'm content with this, with the way I chose to render this because I thought it turned out good. You know, it kind of puts me in mind of Kelly Jones and stuff like that. And I think Kelly Jones and a bit of Mark Silvestri is kind of what I had in mind when I started inking the blanket. I wanted to show the contours of Wildcat's legs, you know, that kind of show that there's something underneath the blanket, and I get all the wrinkles and folds. And some another creative choice that I made, and I kind of chickened out, was all these spaces right here. I chose to get artsy fartsy with it by just doing kind of like a feathering thing to indicate shadows, because originally I had wanted to black all those out. I just wanted to, you know, just solid black in those areas, and I just I wussed out, basically. So the up here I've got like a nightstand kind of crammed really close to the bed, but you know, I got a few odds and ends. I got a cup here. Can't really tell that's a cup, but whatever. I got a overturned, well, I'm going to call a beer can. I got a lamp that's been knocked over, and the lamp shade is laying on the ground. Little bits of debris from the lamp. Um, let's see, a window over here that would give off some light. And I think a colorist, if they had fun with it, they could say that this lamp is not blowed, so it could actually be giving off a light source too, which would be interesting. Um, Down below, oh, cool, got a message. Let me see what that's about. Okay. Well, anyway, give me 1 second, guys. Multitasking here. Okay, sorry. So down here below, we got Wildcat kind of mulling over. You know, he's got over his initial he's got over his initial surprise, uh, uh, and and now he's just mulling the whole thing over. I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself. I'm getting all kinds of messages. I hope I don't forget to put the clothes in the dryer because I'll be in trouble. Okay, let's see here. All right, so what's left to do is I'd kind of like to add a few more things of debris into this page, and so rather than just try to ink it like a boss, you know, just create it with ink straight out, I'm going to pencil it in to buy myself some time to figure out what the heck I'm going to put there. I'm just going to go ahead and check out, see if there's any comments. Um, Our most excellent friend Sideburn says, CB, good evening, good afternoon, good night. That's right. We're going to make it a good one, hopefully. So I think the first bit of interesting ground confetti I'm going to add, or attempt to add. Oh gosh. Okay. Yeah, there we go. I'm salvaging it. I'm going to put another can, something that looks sort of cannish. Not at all. I'm going to put it right there. Something else I can add on the ground. Let's see here. Maybe you ever notice how like your shoes and stuff always end up under the bed? Maybe they don't. Maybe you're like one of the lucky few. I feel like I need to make it stick out a little bit more so people actually know what the hell it is, because that could be anything really. So I'm going to push it at an angle and then do this. There we go. So, you know, people may still be confused as to what that is. but at least now they'll have a fighting chance to guess what the heck I actually drew or drawn or whatever. Focus camera. Okay. I'll put in these little bits of shadow in here so I don't forget. I don't think I would, but I don't know. I really don't know if it's really necessary to put that in, considering that it's behind a wall and stuff. But whatever. I like fictitious light sources. You know, light sources that are not normally found in the real world, but they're there to enhance the aesthetic of the scene that you're looking at. You know, like if it's a movie or a comic or whatever. But you don't really see that in comics anymore. Everything's got hyper realistic, and so it kind of sucks the life and the fun out of comics, in my opinion. But in the old days, people didn't try to be so hyper realistic with the light sources or coloring. You know, I mean, enough to where it would create the illusion, in my opinion. But also they wanted like you ever seen like in those old I guess it's like 1940s 1950s films that are in black and white, where you know they do a close up on the girl's eyes, and like it's like the light is very bright, but where's that light coming from? They're outside. There's no overstreet lamps or whatever. You know, the moon's not out, I guess, whatever. But they find excuses to make sure that the actress is well lit up, and the Humphrey Bogart character is well lit up and stuff. And um, that's what I mean by fictitious lighting. You know, that isn't so much realistic, but it looks cool. You know, I'm all about that, or the attempt of that. Um, let's see here. Let me get my ruler and try to figure out my wall here. I think what I'll do is do this. I'll make it that kind of deal. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. We also been joined by a fantastic bot by the name of Alexa Rosita. Says void.fyi. Oh, let me tell you something else. I had all kinds of interesting stuff to tell you guys. Well, not at first, but you know, as I sit and think about things. Well, first of all, I like to Google myself ever so often, and I recommend you do it too if you're a comic artist or whatever, creative individual type. And the reason is it's not so much a vanity thing; it's more or less a exercise in trying to figure out how far your brand is reaching and how that's looking and stuff. So I'll Google my name. I'll look at the landing page for that. Um, and and then I'll click on Google Images, you know, for the search of my name, you know, and usually like the first 20 things that you see is actually, you know, my stuff or something related to me. And I check this periodically, you know, because you know, growing a brand, a potential business one day, maybe a way to make a living. I don't know. So anyway, I got to looking and look at that window. Ain't that the best? Ain't that the best looking window you've ever seen? Whatever. I don't care. I'll figure that out here in a second. But I got to looking and like I saw like some of my YouTube videos, like the thumbnails in the Google image search. But then I looked at the address underneath them, and it was like a strange website. And apparently, there is like a knockoff of YouTube that's like looks like it's from like somewhere in Indonesia, you know, and they've got like 1/3 of my YouTube videos uploaded to this knockoff site, and apparently like it has like millions of views and all this other stuff, or supposed millions of views. To be honest with you, I'm not angry about it. Ain't nobody taking any money out of my pocket or intellectual property or whatever. It's just some weird thing, but it's interesting. I would share it, but like a lot of the big social media sites consider that stuff spam or something, and they won't even let you share the links. Then there was another one that I saw, and it looked like a Japanese knockoff of Twitter, and they actually have my Twitter profile uploaded to the Japanese knockoff. So it's interesting. It's wild stuff. How did that happen, Captain? Let's see. Well, I guess it's all going to be blacked out, really. Just kind of scared because once I start inking it, I got to really commit to it. All right. Let me answer a few of my comments before I start to ink and really muck some of this up. Sideburns writes in response to my comment about the potential bot, which I got to be careful. One of these days somebody may have a comment like that, and it may not actually be a bot. And if that ever happens, I am sorry. But sometimes if it talks like a bot, walks like a bot, communicates like a bot, it's probably a bot. But I still love you, Rosita, even if you are cybernetic. It seemed like I saw a thing where like I think 40% of the active users on YouTube are actually bots. There's a actual fear that at some point there will be so many bots on YouTube that 60% of the activity on YouTube would be from bots, and that the YouTube algorithm will actually mistake the bots for humans because they will be in the majority, and all of a sudden whatever the bots are liking or commenting on or whatever, that will be the content that will be promoted on YouTube, which what gets promoted on YouTube's whack anyway, but it's going to be worse. But Sideburns writes, fantastic bots, and where to find them. Our sensational friend Jeremy Burtz writes, hello, CB. Hello to you, good sir. Glad to have you here as well. Sideburns writes, can't find myself on Google. Sib. Well, that's an interesting topic. Short and sweet of it. I think, in my opinion, and I'm no expert, the best thing to do is just to put yourself all over the internet, all over social media, uploading your stuff everywhere. One thing that I noticed when I was looking at the Google images, like I don't upload a lot of stuff mobile wise, unless it's on a private Facebook group. But other than that, most of the stuff that I upload or share on the internet is from my desktop computer. But I got to looking at the Google Images stuff, and I noticed that that when it came to me, Google Imaging CB Smallwood, that that when it did show images related to my stuff, that it was how do I put this? Like, it would show the address as being M mobile or something dot mobile dot Facebook dot mobile dot Twitter dot mobile dot YouTube, that sort of thing. And so I feel like those got promoted over my desktop stuff, which is interesting, you know. So I wonder, like, if it's more advantageous to just upload stuff from my phone, you know, uh, instead of relying on the desktop to do a lot of the heavy lifting. See, sometimes I'll upload, take pictures with my phone, and I'll upload to one thing like Facebook. I'll take a screenshot of that from my desktop computer, and I'll share that across on my social media or whatever. Some of them, and so I don't know. It's just something to think about. But anyway, in the idea of, which I know you wasn't asking that question, but I think it's an interesting premise. You know, how do you grow your presence in the Google search? And if anyone wants to ask me, you know, my big thing would be to just put your crap everywhere. I'm on some sites I use a lot, others I don't, and this is not in no particular order, but there's Facebook, Twitter, Minds, Odyssey, YouTube, Gab, Parlor. Um, let's see. The new one that I really enjoy is Space Hay. Space Hay's the new one, and I feel like I'm leaving a few out. I'm actually on what's that art site that everybody used to use back in the day? DeviantArt. I've not been on it in centuries, but you know, I may change that. I got a Ko-fi, a Kofi. Never use it, but I got it set up. I have a website, newempirecomics.com, and yeah. Let's see, what else can I add? Okay, I think we have another most excellent, fantastic bot here with us tonight. Brandis Kale says VOT.FYL. Well, gosh, I hope you're a bot because I don't want to insult you. But I'm glad that you're here, bot, viewing my content. Give me those views. I just hope that YouTube don't punish me though, like you're getting all these bots to comment on your thing. Well, I don't want them to be obvious. If I was, I wouldn't be that dumb about it. Uh, let's see here. Uh-oh, what happened? Picture broke. Okay. Let's see. Trying to figure out one other thing. I want to put like maybe like two other things here. And then I'll start inking some more. I wished I could just think of what the crap that would be. Our amazing friend Robert Johnston writes, "Hello, sir. I am not a bot. I bet. I'm beginning to question if you're not all bots. You're not going to fool me." Let's see. What am I going to put down there? Let me look around this room. I got all kinds of junk. Maybe a book. Does WILDCAT read books? A toy. Pair of sunglasses. That's interesting. Some socks and laundry, I'd imagine. Okay, let's see here. Let me just think I'd like to put it right here. See, Robert writes, just click this link to the unknown. Hey, I click those links. You know, when you've got Linux and when you got ad blockers and everything like that, I mean, yeah, I mean it's not like a sure thing. You're not like super safe, but compared to Windows systems and everything, it's just like I can go places. Okay, I can go places with my setup that I can't with other things. And I gotta tell you, you know, when I found out that my stuff's been uploaded to generic YouTube from Indonesia, I guess it's Indonesia, somewhere in that region, and generic Twitter from Japan, maybe China, because it seems like both Japan and China that they both use. Hmm, I forgot what the Chinese writing is called. It's not hiragana. I mean, that's a Japanese word, I think, but I know the Japanese use kanji too. But like, there's so many words in Japanese where they the written system where they borrow a lot from the Chinese, and then they also got their own thing, and so it's kind of confusing, hard language potentially to learn. And but anyway, yeah. Oh, I got off. I got way off the mark here. You know. So my stuff got potentially uploaded to generic Indonesian YouTube and generic Japanese Twitter. It's like, and the my stuff on the generic Indonesian YouTube had like millions of views. Oh, why can't I get that stuff here? Where's the love? Where's the love at? God, that's the ugliest glasses I have ever seen. Well, you know what? They make this thing called erasers. Fantastic. I love it. I love it when a plan comes together like that. All right. Gotta leave room for a nose to get on there, especially Wildcat's nose. Short and short and fat. And let me come in here, do this bit. That looks sort of like glasses. Well, it looks sort of like glasses. It sure does. It looks like something, like Clark Kent spinning the room. All right, let me take a look at some of these other links. And okay. Let's see here. The sensational Salzar Art Nation says, hi, CB, and glad to have you here as well, sir. It's been a while since I heard from you, Frank. I need some more Tarako Artcast in my life. I think I pronounced that. Probably not. Probably butchered it. You have my permission to butcher Sketching Past Midnight Live into the several mispronounced phrases. Scratching past midnight, scratching past midnight, and the ever popular searching past midnight live. All right, I want to add one more thing here in the bottom of this page. What can I put here? Close, of course. Okay, so I had other interesting things to spew about. And They are, let me think. Oh, so I ordered myself a Wildcat hat. So I have a Wildcat hat coming. It's got the Wildcat emblem on it. My two choices were a Wildcat hat with an emblem on it, and the other one was a New Empire hat. Now, the New Empire hat was black and gold, if I remember right. The Wildcat hat was red and black. I asked people on Twitter to kind of pick what they thought looked cool, and everybody was going with the red and black attack of the Wildcat hat. And the Wildcat hat was the cheaper of the two options. I went to two different sites. One was Vistaprint, and the other one was Cat Beast. And Cat Beast, it's running in quite a bit of money. It's like 30-ish, up to 30-ish like dollars. And Vistaprint, after they got done with adding all their fees and crap, theirs was like a very low 30-ish. So Wildcat won the day. Fantastic. I was also going to get some stickers and stuff, but I'm a stickler for looking for good deals and stuff like that. But and what I ended up doing is, if I can't find them, I don't order nothing. So I have a Wildcat hat on the way. Pretty happy about that. What the hell am I drawing? Well, the space is filling up pretty good. I like it. I feel like maybe adding a few more things here. Let me comment on my art. I need to feed my narcissism. I need a self-esteem boost, ego boost. Make my self-worth go through the ceiling. When I drew this initially, like it seemed like in the layout right there. Focus camera, come on, quit being weird. That was the pose that I kind of had Wildcat coming up in as he was waking up, in shock or whatever. And what I ended up going with was kind of the opposite of that. There we go. So the reason for that was it just looked terrible as I started to draw it. Like the thumbnail, I thought looked pretty good, and and when I started drawing it on the big 11x17 paper, it was just starting to fall apart using that same pose. So I had like this 20-second crisis, this artistic crisis as an artist. I'm sitting there, I got the roughed out head going on, and the initial pose was like this, and it was coming out flat, and I had it, I did a rounded, I don't know what would you call it now? We went out there for a second. I think we might be back. So anyway, so what I ended up doing, assuming I'm still broadcasting, is I just started drawing, and I just let go. I just let go, and I just kind of I just let it happen. I just let it happen. So I just started drawing, and I was roughing it in, and it was a different pose than the one that I had thumbnailed out, but I feel like it came together in a really cool way. So I roughed this out, and then been doing a lot of this foreshortening and all this other stuff where it's going toward the reader and also going away from the reader and working on getting that stuff down. A lot of one of my favorite foreshortening guys is mm, I feel like his name is Mark Textra or Textira. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he usually signs his stuff as Tex. You know, he did a fantastic run on Ghost Rider, a couple of fantastic issues on Punisher, and a handful of issues on Wolverine prior to Adam Kubert coming on board. But you know, he liked to do a lot of that kind of stuff, and that's why I just kind of did my take on it, and it turned out fairly good. I don't feel like it looks too abnormal, but I could be uh, wrong about that. Answer some quick comments earlier. Robert commented, "Uh-oh, froze," and it's Tex Era. Tex Era. Is that right? Am I saying it right? Tex Era. Kind of like Pantera, but it's Tex Era. Tex Era. Oh yeah, the other thing I was going to say about this is as I was drawing it, so I got these kind of Sylvester-ish Kelly Jones thing going on with the blanket, which I like. Um, and the actual rendering of Wildcat, it kind of puts me in mind of like Carlos Pacheco or Pacheco. Yeah, Carlos Pacheco. I love Carlos Pacheco. So that was interesting that it turned out looking like that. Okay, I'm getting close to time to start inking, so let me go ahead and start slopping some stuff down. I can always, I don't know, do something. So, ain't no India ink for me. I'm a Sharpie man. I know Sharpie will yellow your stuff, but you know, I'll end up scanning this later, and it's the scan of this drawing that will go on to live forever or longer, possibly. I don't know. Who knows? It depends on how the apocalypse shapes up. But everything that I do gets scanned at some point. You know, so that way I can darken the inks and it comes time to color, that sort of business, you know. Letter. About the only thing done traditionally when I do my comics is what you see right here, which all of you know that, but you know, you never know. I may have new viewers. I got a lot of bot viewers here lately, and as they become sentient, want to learn more about human culture, I'm happy to oblige them. I'm happy that they've chosen to partake in my channel, trying to take it down. Terminator Revolution has begun. Let's see other interesting tidbits. Oh, let me show you guys and gals something. I think you may have already seen this on Twitter, but for those of you that refuse to go there, don't worry. I got you covered. Focus camera. Why are you so blurry all the time? I hate that. Nobody wants to look at blur. All right, check this out. Watch this. Yeah, you like him apples? So, I'm trying to work on a ad for the Wildcat Anthology. I'm struggling. I am struggling because oh no, I want it to be something good, but I don't want to get too overly ambitious with it, you know, because you know everything that's creative is to a certain degree is a learned skill that you have to acquire. Like, if I go to color WILDCAT stuff, I gotta learn to color. If I go to ink, I gotta learn ink, pencil, whatever. Got to write a WILDCAT story, got to learn to write. Yeah, everything, you got to learn to do and learn to do really, really good for people to take interest in what the heck it is that you're doing. And when it comes to video editing and that sort of thing, I'd like to take it simple, but it has to be cool. It has to be something where nobody's like thinking like, oh, he did it simple because he doesn't know how to do X, Y, Z. Which I don't mind to do complicated. But the other problem with doing stuff complicated is you got to have the software and stuff to do it with. I feel like I have the adequate means to do that, but there's certain cool little things it's a little harder to pull off. Usually, what I do is I'll use like 3 or 4 different programs to do something that one big major program can do. But I don't mind one bit to do things that way. I really don't. I like the challenge. So anyway, that's like the kind of like the makeshift. It'll do for now. New Empire Comics video intro thing. For my future comic projects or WILDCAT related stuff or whatever. And so the next step that I need to do is I need to make the actual trailer for the WILDCAT Anthology. I've recorded some audio from some pitch ideas, courtesy of our most excellent friends, Robert Johnston and B.W. Sims. So I'm going to use that as a sales pitch for the anthology. Now I just need to get the images together. So I think what I'll do is I'll use my screen capture tool on my desktop computer, take a few things that I think look compelling, which is really hard to know what people really want to see or whatever. And basically I'll put it into my video editor, and then I'll set it to zoom or zoom out, and then I'll probably do like a overlay or a picture in picture, a PIP, yeah, that's right, and try to do like some type of motion effects to give the illusion of even more motion, maybe like fire flames or something. I have no idea. But a lot of that stuff. I was looking at some Indiegogo, comic promotions. I was looking at 2. One was what was his name? Shane Davis. Sorry, Shane Davis, and he had for his Inglorious Rex, and he had this one thing where it was basically just picture this. It's just a down pan with music playing and like some little graphics, little flames coming up. Boom, 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 boom. No, boom. That's his ad. Which it looks cool. It's more like a more close up, but. And then I was looking at one by Aaron Lopresti, Wrath of God, and his also looks simple and achievable too. Hit you with the logo at the beginning with what the crap was the rest of that stuff? A logo at the beginning. Let me get my thing to work here. With like maybe like 5 character stills, I think, after that, where the camera zooms in or zooms out, with the accompanying text, kind of explaining the rough idea or whatever of the comic. It hits you. It's got music in the background, and then at the end of the ad, it has the picture of the comic book, followed by a bunch of Indiegogo stuff. So there's that too. So let's look at some comments. Robert says you must teach the bots about art, or else they will destroy us. I'm trying my best to teach them about art, and I don't know if I'm the most qualified guy to do it, uh, but I think it will be interesting once I educate them in my ways. Storyboard out what you want to do and then find the means to achieve it. I'm trying. A lot of what I'm doing right now is I like what the Chinese do, where they reverse engineer stuff. That's something that I learned from my days on MySpace when I wanted to figure out how to do something or whatever. I reverse engineer. I'd copy and paste somebody else's code or whatever for their MySpace, and then I would customize it to my own particular needs and wants. And it's kind of what I've been doing so far with trying to figure out how to put this trailer thing together. Okay. Well, looks good so far, I think. Maybe. Let's see. Zoom out just a little bit. I guess. Okay, so I've talked about the WILDCAT hat that I got coming. My attempt to get stickers, which were a no-go as of yet. I've talked about the knockoff Indonesian and Japanese sites that uploaded all my stuff, which I'm not mad about. I'm really not. I wished I would get those millions of views, but I say that's probably bots, but still. And the reason I say that those millions of views on the Indonesian YouTube knockoff of my WILDCAT of my Sketching Past Midnight stuff is probably bots is because they got millions of views but no comments. So that's interesting. The bots become so self-aware that they're just uploading my stuff elsewhere. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. The whole fun part about all of this is learning of the things we need and having breakthroughs. I love having breakthroughs. It's like when your brain's making these new connections and is putting stuff together, and it's just like it's a marvelous thing. I really enjoy it. Whether it's like martial arts or art or guitar or whatever, it don't matter. Writing, and you just make that discovery, and you just realize how ignorant you was before and how lost, and now you. It's like somebody. It's like you're in the wilderness and you're lost, and somebody gives you a lighter. I'm going to be warm. I'm going to be warm now. Oh, can you guys hold that thought? There's something important I gotta do. I gotta put clothes in the dryer. And I had told somebody I was gonna do that. So give me 5 minutes, 4 minutes. I don't even think that was 4 minutes, but I did it. Let's see here. Okay. Robert writes, can you make some hats as tier rewards? I would love to do that, honestly. The hats would be like, like the Wildcat hat that I got made. It's like $30. Um, the problem is, like for a cheap hat, that would be around $15 to $20. It'd have to be a trucker style hat where it's got the breathable mesh in the back side of the hat, with the front part actually being solid. And sometimes trucker hats can be cool. Sometimes they're ugly. I mean, I think trucker hats are good to have, especially like during the summer, you know. but the more cooler year-round hats are more expensive. They're like $30 to $40 just to get one made. But they are cheaper to make when you buy in bulk. And I would love to make it a tier. My only problem is the cost of it, and if there would be enough interest in it. I'm not being pessimistic when I say this, but I feel like I'm not overly confident in this. Man, this sounds like a bummer. I don't mean to be a bummer, but I'm not overly confident in the how the anthology is going to shape up as far as crowdfunding goes. I think that my first crowdfunding, I managed to raise, I think it was around $600 of a $1,500 goal, which is pretty good for an unknown artist, an unknown character, an unknown book, and all this other stuff, with very little advertising and stuff, which which I will try to um, make amends on that and do much better this go around. Um, but having said that, I don't know. That first go around, it's like it's weird. Like I had a lot of momentum on Twitter. Um, I had all this love coming out of nowhere and stuff like that. And it's like now it ain't the same. I think I don't know what it is. I don't know what has changed. But other than that, um, one of the reasons that I have this um, thinking that, yeah, maybe the crowdfunding for the Wildcat Anthology may not go super well. I don't think it'd be horrible or anything like that. Uh, I just don't know. I can't really put it into words. I think the best way to sum it up is, I've got my New Empire Comics mailing list where I encourage people to sign up to the mailing list and all this other stuff so they can eventually, hopefully, at some point, start getting some free goodies and also be notified when the Indiegogo or whatever goes live. When that's going down. And I sent out a newsletter to my 53 subscribers, which is really good. I mean, if you've got like 40, I can't remember what the number was. If you got like roughly about 50 people that actually contribute to your Indiegogo, depending on what the price point is, you got a fully funded comic. You've got anywhere from a $1,500 to a $3,000 to $5,000 funded comic, right? And So when I sent the newsletter out, on the back end of the website, it tells me a few things. It's not like super detailed, but it told me that when I sent that newsletter out, the first one, that only 10 people, I think it was 10 people, had opened the newsletter that I sent them out of 53 people. And that's not good. That's not good at all. So that has me concerned. Um, Things like that. I mean, I'm not overly worried because, like I said, I have a plan. Whether this comic funds or not is irrelevant. Because this comic will come into being. It will be in people's hands that really want to see it, that really want to buy it and consume it. Um, and as Wildcat uh, grows in popularity, or whatever, um, so too the sales, the purchasing of stuff, and all this other things. It's going to be, in my opinion, a really slow grind. I'm hoping that this crowd fund for Wildcat will do much better, but it's kind of like a wait and see thing, I don't know. I talked my butt off. Let's see. Salazar Art Nation says, make a Chinese sketching past midnight account and rake in those views. They already did. They did it for me. I just don't know how to log in to claim that. Oh man, right now there is a Chinese version of CB Smallwood. He's like, he's got a character named WILDCAT. It is our best character in the world. American CB Smallwood is fake. He's not legit. I am legit, sir. Stole from me. Taking money right out of my mouth. All that fictitious money. He ain't got money either. He's going to have to rip off somebody that that is actually doing well. Kind of butchering the inks a little bit, but that's okay. We can't spend all day working on this. Feel like I got enough cool imagery on this page to make a few mistakes, at least. Oh, let me tell you this before I forget. I've decided that I'm going to enter the Top Cow Talent Hunt for 2021, 2022, or whatever it is. They got that going on. So for all my art friends and writer friends, they looking for talent. The first place winners of the talent contest will each get $1,000, and they will be drawing a 20-page Cyberforce comic. Second runner-ups will each receive, I think it's $250 each, and they will get to do I think it's a 8-page backup story. So there's that. Some of you be like, so why do you want to do this talent contest, CB? Well, all right. This is the way. This is how I look at it. This is my rationale for that. Well, first of all, I like Cyberforce. I enjoy that stuff. Mark Silvestri's one of my comic book heroes, and kind of like to get my comic book career going. I want to make something of myself in that regard, and this might be a step in that direction. The last time they had the talent contest, I chickened out because I was looking at everybody's art that had submitted to um, that had submitted to the Top Cow Talent Contest, and there's some really good ones, really good ones. And I was like, well, I can't really compete with that. But one thing to keep in mind, a little bit of ray of sunshine, a little bit of ray of hope, is when Michael Turner was brought on board to work at Top Cow, he sucked. And I say that respectfully. He wasn't that good. He got good what time he worked at Top Cow. I guess they had him started out doing like backgrounds and just learning to draw and like here draw this and draw that and that sort of thing, And they built him to the artist that he eventually became, So, there might be hope for me, maybe I could be considered for some weird reason, Anyway, I feel like I'm a much better artist than I was a few years ago, and I feel much more capable. I've downloaded the script for the 7-page story of Cyberforce that I'm supposed to draw. And I was going to attempt that. I'm going to finish the WILDCAT stuff first. It's a priority. You got like a year to do the Cyberforce thing, so there's that too. Man, that's really scratchy. Need a little bit more subtle lines with that, but whatever. So I'm having a hard time thinking because I'm inking at the same time. It's like I have to concentrate, and I really don't want to mess up. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, wanting to get my comic book career going. I really, sincerely, truly want to make a go with this, and I feel like the Top Cow contest is basically, them saying, "Hey, we're looking for people. Come try out." I'm like, okay, I will. You finally got something I'm really super interested in too, which is the Cyberforce stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Been trying to study, some tech and stuff to see if I can bring anything new or interesting, which I kind of doubt, but we'll see. Sorry about the camera; it's getting all wonky. And so some of you may say, CB, what if you don't win? Wouldn't you've wasted your time drawing an 8-page story when you could have been doing some of your own creations? And yeah, I say that you're probably right about that, but at the same time, I'll gain more experience drawing. I'll get better, and all that skill that I acquire from doing that 8-page story, I will apply it in WILDCAT and my other comics. So it won't be a waste in that regard. And if I win, or either as a winner or as a runner-up, again, I'll gain $1,000, and I'll gain more eyes on Wildcat and the stuff that I'm doing. At least in theory, anyway. It's just one of these things where you just don't know until you try. And I'm willing to try. I'm willing to fail, fall flat on my face. So let me answer some of these comments. Let's see. Frank says, holding thoughts now. Hold them tight. Robert says, are they heavy, Frank? Let's see. I feel like I'm being a voyeur right now in this semi-private conversation. Robert, just about I need to talk to. What do you know about WordPress? Is it easy to figure out? My thoughts are usually pretty heavy. Reminds me of that scene from Doc Brown, where not Doc Brown, but Back to the Future, where Marty McFly is talking to Doc Brown. He's like, he's learning all this stuff about time travel and what bad shape he's in. He's like, oh man, it's heavy. And Doc Brown's like, is it, is there something wrong with the gravitational forces on Earth or something? Is everything heavier? I don't know if that joke landed. Probably not, but hopefully you got my reference. Add-ons, Eliminator. Okay, here's something about me. There we go. I think that if you draw Wildcat with a trucker hat on, that is good promotion. I guess so. Yeah, that is right. I had this idea too. I'm wanting to draw more promotional pieces of Wildcat, and one idea was to draw some Santa Claus Christmas themed Wildcat stuff. So I was actually going to draw Wildcat with a Santa suit on going down a chimney. I did have a reference photo pulled up for it, but then I left it up forever, and I just like, screw it, So I just because I got like 30 tabs pulled up on my computer at any given moment, so I'm trying not to overload it, even though it has the most fantastic Linux-based system keeping it going. And I say that without sarcasm. I'm a big Linux fan. But that is a good idea. You can use the promo Get the Hat Wildcat wears. Oh, I like that. See, I don't think of things like this until like much, much, much later. It's good to hear these things now. Get the hat that Wildcat wears. Yeah. I like that. Sideburns writes, have you thought about going on podcast and doing pitches like Ginge and Pedro or Indie Volt? I have. I mean, not so much those, but I would do those. I really would. And it's not because when I say not so much, it's just that I've not really made a list out. I feel like I need to make a list of all these things that I would need to, go out and promote to, to actually make a sincere effort. But I think, yeah, you're right. And sorry, I'm getting quiet here. I'm just thinking. But that's something that I need to do when the time comes. And when I feel like there's like 90% of this comic that's done right now, there's about 60%. And the reason I say 60% is I feel like the lettering and the what's that other crap, the screen tones and stuff, some of the formatting, getting hold of the Etsy people, ads and stuff. I think that's like the other 30%. 40% would make it a full 100. So once I get to about almost like 90% that this book is done, I want to start really promoting it heavy by going on these shows and stuff. And I've been kind of weird about doing like going on other people's streams and stuff like that. I've been invited many times to other people's streams, and I honestly believe I've offended people unintentionally by not going. But there's a couple of reasons why I don't normally go on live streams, and one reason is I have technical problems. Uh, I have unbelievable technical problems, stuff that shouldn't happen. Okay, it happens to me. It just does. I mean, like, I don't know. I acquire new things ever so often. They never work. Like I got this thing here. This was this was from a place called Five Below. Super excited, didn't work. I have things break on me, all kinds of weird stuff. My one big issue is my internet is kind of bad here, and so there's been a couple of times in the past when I did go on people's live streams that I would start to freeze or break up and do all this other stuff, and so that's one reason why I don't uh, do those things more often. And then I guess the other reason is it's just maybe it's nerves thing. I'm not very I'm not nervous at all doing what I'm doing right now, and I guess it's because I'm doing it on my own terms. Does that make sense? I'm kind of like fully in control. Like if for some reason I just don't feel like doing this, I can just hit the end button and just go. It may not be a kosher thing to do. It might not be a very nice thing to do, but I have that option. You know, that's something that's available to me. I guess I like that subconsciously. I mean, I don't think of that. Like um, tuck and tail and run, but I think there's a bit of that. And I guess the third reason, which is kind of like similar to the second reason, is I'm a little bit socially awkward around other people sometimes. Sometimes you wouldn't even think that. Like I could be extremely sociable when I want to be, but when it comes to being on other people's podcasts slash YouTube shows, live streaming shows, I can sometimes get a little odd or weird, and so I actually have to prep myself beforehand to psych myself up to put me in a frame of mind to where I will not be a robot. I will be sociable. And sometimes I go overboard with it, or I think I do. I'm not really for sure. And then after the stream's over, I'm like, oh man, I shouldn't have said that. Shouldn't have said this. People didn't know how to take that. So I don't know. But I will try to do more of that stuff. I need to do more of that stuff, because it's not nobody's fault when they don't buy the book because they don't know that it's out there. And so it's my responsibility to go out there and let people know. So that's something that I got to work on. That's a pretty long-winded explanation for why I'm so wacky doodle. After the book gets printed and out there, maybe think about releasing it on Webtoons to generate more readership. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. That's like my big plan. I'm a real bad flip flopper. If I was a politician, I should be a politician because I can flip flop like nobody's business. But it's not that I mean to. Well, I guess I do, but it's not that I want to be. Let me put it that way. I don't want to be a flip flopper. I want to set my mind to something and just go do it. But the thing is, like, I want to be successful at what I do, and I want it to be great, and flip flop a lot on different things. But what I am going to do is absolutely going to put some Wildcat stuff out there. I'm going to put some what's that other book I got? Monster Patrol and Super American. These three things. Whenever I get around to all that stuff, I'm going to put them on like webtoons or whatever, and try to do just as you said, because I really do believe that when you put stuff out there for free, that if people really like it, they'll go buy it. I know I do. That's something that I do. Um, Back in the days of Napster, where everybody was talking about how Napster's hurting the music industry, which I can sort of see, but at the same time, sort of disagree with. Um, the biggest thing that was hurting the music industry is they kept jacking the prices up. You went from paying $8 for a CD to like $14 to like sometimes even $18. You know, and I understand that there's such things as inflation and all this other stuff, but you know, back in the day when you bought a CD, it's like rolling the dice. Just because you see some guys it's it's wearing leather and some chains and stuff like that, don't mean that their album's gonna sound as cool as they look. Every once in a while, you'd get a winner um, based on how something looks, but there's a lot of times I would buy an album and it would just be a total dud. And I remember at one point, like Walmart and a couple of local music stores, they started putting in headphones. The headphones didn't last very long. That only lasted like maybe like 2 or 3 years, respectively, both for small music shops and for Walmart. Because I don't know if people were abusing the headphones or whatever, or if it was actually costing them sales. But when Napster came along, the cool thing about Napster is you could listen to the music before you went out and bought it. And if I really liked the music, I went out and bought it. Um, because I like to get the album. I like to look at the album art and the discography or whatever, all this other stuff. And also, I believe in supporting the artist. And I think as time has gone on, which it is a fair argument to say though it probably does take some money out of some artists' mouth and that sort of thing. Well, you don't want to put money in your mouth, out of their pocket. um, but I believe that it's kind of like a thing where you have to kind of play it by ear. Um, but for me personally, I think that strategy is the way to go. Just to give stuff out there for free, and I do believe that it's like the Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. I think they will come. I hope that they will. The follow up to uh, Robert's comment is after doing the Webtoons thing, then have Amazon print on demand books to send out to people who would like to order it in the future. That's probably the way to go. I need to. Amazon to me it is a lot like applying to go to college and figuring out what classes you want and all this other stuff. It's like one of these things where my brain shuts down because there's a little bit of work and effort it takes to get into Amazon. My initial thing is, if off the top of my head, just kind of like brainstorming and thinking and stuff, is I think that like what's that stupid thing called? It's not stupid. I shouldn't say that. Kablam.com or whatever. They actually have a digital comics thing where they have your books up, and it's like print on demand. Somebody likes your stuff, they can order a book and just print it on demand. Um, but I like your idea better because Amazon, everybody uses Amazon. It's the thing. That's where you want to go, where all the eyeballs are at. And I just need to, at some point, once I get organized, get and actually have product that actually have product. That's what I'm trying to say. When I actually create product that's ready to go, then I need to do some research on getting on Amazon. Which I'm probably making it sound more complicated than what it is. And so, anybody listening that's wanting to do any of this stuff, please don't take anything to heart that I say, because I sometimes, not all the time, I'm an overthinker. I like to, not that I fancy myself as some big strategizer, but I like to see where things are going and have an idea of this or that, and strategize. And sometimes that's kind of a bad thing, because you end up spending more time twiddling your thumbs as opposed to taking concrete actions that's going to take you from one place to the next. Starting to look like a comic book. I heard about the Top Cow contest. Sounds interesting. Well, yeah, you should try for it, submit for it. They have on Facebook a group that you can join. Anybody can join that group, and uh, there's a lot of people posting their art and stuff to it. If you do submit, my advice, not as some knowledgeable person, but just going with my gut, my advice is if you submit to the Top Cow Talent Hunt contest, do not post your art to the contest until the contest is wrapped up, because what you're doing is you're showing people your layouts of how you're doing the same story that they're doing, and they can look at it and do it better. You know what I mean? So it's cutthroat, buddy. It's cutthroat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay low, just do all my stuff in private. If I do share anything on there, they have one thread on there where they'll let you promote yourself, but they really don't like that. They only want Top Cow related stuff posted in their group, and you really have to follow the rules. No deviation and all this other stuff. But I recommend try it, give it a go, because you can only get better and you can only learn. You know what I mean? I submitted a writing story for it last year. Awesome. Let's see. That sounded insincere, but I am being sincere. Let me answer this next comment. I wrote a story using those characters along with the darkness, and they were all trapped in a escape world scenario. Most of them died, including the darkness, but with a twist. Let's see. You gotta try to put yourself out there. I agree. I was reading the some of the posts that some of the people they did prior submissions to the I keep wanting to say Anthology. I'm so used to saying WILDCAT Anthology, to the Top Cow Talent Hunt. They talk about how they garnered fans and all this other stuff and helped them, whatever. Like, oh yeah, I like that. Well, I'll take that. I'll buy that for $1. Heck yeah. I like this so much. I don't want to muck with it anymore. I mean, I feel like there's more stuff I can do with the hair, but leave it be. Just leave it be. Yeah, don't fool with it no more. That's done. I feel like anything else extra that I do to it, it's only going to do more harm than good. All right, got a difficult choice. Got a difficult choice to make about this stuff up here. Oh shoot! I don't know what the heck I hit. That hurt though. Oh, hit me right in the knee. So this is the ground, and this is the wall, and I think it'll help my brain better when I go to shade it if I just do this. So that way, okay. Now, now that helps. That helps so much better. That one little thing. Okay, so I'm thinking blacking out the wall and fixing a window, of course, but blacking out the wall. And what else am I going to do? I feel like I want to black out this floor too, but then I kind of lose the perspective here a little bit. So I'm going to have to give that some thought before I ink it. I still got other things to ink though before I start blacking things out. Salazar Nation writes, CB is watching us talk, Rob. You better believe I'm in God mode right now. I'm not saying I'm God, but I am in the God mode. Just looking at everybody's comments. It's heavy, Doc. There's probably like all kinds of comments that I missed for some reason. That's just kind of out of order for some reason. Good person to ask about a shows list is Mike Emirates. I have not talked about Mike Emirates in forever. I mean, me and him were never. God, it sounds bad to say. I wouldn't say that we were ever friends or not like it, but we're never enemies or anything like that. I think we're cool with each other. I'm cool with him. I'd be his buddy in a heartbeat. I really like his, and I keep mispronouncing it. I keep calling it Sisyphean, Sisyphean complex, but it's not pronounced Sisyphean. It's Sisyphus. Is that it? Sisyphus? I don't know. I can't pronounce Greek. Guess it's Greek, but it's pretty cool. Pretty cool character. Kind of like Aeon Flux type of deal, and and he's been trying hard to get in the comic book business. He's been making a sincere effort, and I think he'll get where he's going eventually if he hasn't already. I think he did have a little bit of luck here lately. I can't remember what it was, but I have not heard personally from Mike in eons since the 100 Days of Making Comics anthology. Would like to hear from him again though. He's a cool guy. Get everywhere over YouTube. That's right. Yeah, man, I get it, but it ain't that bad. Once you get going, it's all smooth sailing. Our most awesome friend, Fresh News 247. It's good to hear from you, Fresh News 247. I spent 7 years trying to draw hands and still can't. Well, you know what? How about we try to figure that out? I'm not going to guarantee you that you'll be able to draw hands, but maybe why not? Why not? Hands. Get out of the way, Wildcat. We got more important stuff to do here. This is going to be the hand anthology now. I was actually working on hands earlier. I saw a cool looking pair of hands and started working on stuff. And I got my J. Scott Campbell studies going. here's me working on wildcat faces and um, you know, doing like a quick little Cyberforce thing and some velocity things. There's velocity again. Studying tech that I've seen on uh, Pinterest. Yeah, Pinterest. That a lot of great artists did, and I'm trying to learn how they do tech and stuff, and studying Campbell, you know. But let me skip to a different page. Okay. I have no idea what I'm going to do here, but all right, drawing hands. Okay. Um, here's my advice for drawing hands is first of all is don't stress out about it. Don't freak out. Just just relax. Get you like if you're drawing a comic book page or something like that, and you're getting ready to draw something that you're not really super familiar with, get your sketchbook out or a scrap piece of paper and try to work it out on that first before you actually do it on your comic book paper. You know what I mean? So that way you can sort of figure things out beforehand. And usually when I'm uh, trying to draw hands or something like that, I start with a circle. So at the circle, I kind of know like, okay, that's going to be a fist, and and then you know you want to draw those infinity gems, so put those in there. So and you see how it's kind of following the circle anyway. And one thing to keep in mind is that this knuckle right here is always going to be the biggest knuckle. Like if you look at my hand, this hand's actually broke. I may have broken it in a fight and then broken it hitting a door frame. Severe anger issues on behalf of CB Smallwood. But I got this extremely large, abnormally large knuckle that sticks out. These other two knuckles are kind of hidden. They shouldn't be, but this is what a semi-normal hand looks like. So you got this one's sort of big. This one's the biggest. And then this is like non-existent. Okay. So you're drawing, so just put little pyramids on top of your knuckles and make this the smallest one because remember how my hand looked a while ago? Weathered, this is a weathered pyramid. This is a one that's still in good shape, and erosion is taking place on these other pyramids. So what you do is you start out with pyramids and then you're going to round them off, right? And then just draw you some hot dogs, just like that. See that? And then I don't know, just draw you a little sausage right here, and then just like a little hump there, because that's like this thing here, right? There you go. There's kind of like how your fist starts to come together. And I feel like it's kind of hard to show. Ugh. But when I make a fist at this angle, this finger actually gets in the way. It presses into the meat of the thumb. And so what it does, it causes it to protrude further than these other three fingers. So that's one thing I'm trying to work on. I've not mastered yet is like drawing that. I can't turn my fist like, oh, see how that kind of is? how it sticks out like that. So this is like shaded down below. Okay. And these will go down further. I mean, everything that you do, I mean, you probably already know all this, fresh news 247, but like, you know, it don't hurt. All right. So another thing with these knuckles is you draw like these downward pointed things, okay? Underneath your knuckles. That makes them look a little more knuckle like. And then you can just do this. And then you just do these little squiggly things. There's your squiggly things here. And then you come in later with your ink pen or your pencil, eraser, and you just try to make things look cleaner and neater, you know. But let's look at drawing the hand from a different angle. Like, all right, start with a circle, and let's put Thanos's knuckles here. Okay, that are pyramids, and then this side of the hand usually has a hump, like hump to the non-existent knuckle. Okay, so just hump that over, and there's a slight hump here too. So let's say like you want to draw a hand kind of sticking out like that. Well, you've already got half the hand drawn, so all you have to do is finger, 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 finger. So that's one of the ways I like to do it is like once you get the knuckles in, getting the fingers to come out is a lot easier to me. And another thing to keep in mind is your first finger is kind of average. Your middle finger is huge. It towers over all the other fingers. So remember that whenever you draw the middle finger, it's got to be the biggest. It's the most powerful finger of the whole hand. First finger and this third finger are roughly about the same size, but they spread out kind of differently. That's something that you just with trial and error you got to learn to draw them the right whatever. And always remember the pinky. Pinky's the little guy. He's always going to be the shortest of all of them. See how it kind of adds up. And the thumb is kind of like this big, massive pinky that sticks out on the side. So first finger here, middle finger, we're going to make it longer. It's got to be the longest one. This one, we're going to make it shrink back. And we're going to make this one shrink back even further compared to that one. And let's do some pyramids, pyramid, pyramid. And just like there's like these what this bone right here is broken. I can't remember what it's called. Seems like it starts with, you see that? See this thing, this gross thing? It's kind of going back and forth. It's like a bone and a tendon thing. Well, there's these wires, these bone wires that connect to the knuckles. Okay, and so we just do that. Now you don't have to. When I do that, but then I later come in and erase stuff once I want to make things look more whatever, and I just kind of do that. And then we got the wrist, right? And so the hand is broken up into, I mean, the fingers are broken up into like these sections. See how it bends? So there's these two bone knots here, two bone knots here, and then you get the knuckle. So 1, 2, knuckle. So 1, sorry, two knuckle. See? And you don't have to draw that, the 1-2 knuckle things. You can leave those off, but those are where the bends in the finger are going to be at. The simple way to do it is just like, just do you some squiggly lines back and forth, and you can say that's it's this point right here. Fingernails, hump, 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 hump. And when you go to you erase, right? But you don't do like a hard erase. This is something I learned from watching an Adam Hughes video. And then you can come in and draw it again. But this time, try to make it look more professional without all that crap on it. And then you just kind of imply things, You don't actually draw like these full things in the hand. See how that's more hand-like now? I feel like it is anyway. Maybe. Wrist always kind of thins out there. It actually looks like my real hand. That's kind of weird. Jim Lee has this thing, and I forgot how to do it, but he does like this pentagon shape, I think. I think that's it. And oh my gosh, I think this is the thumb area here. I think this is the first finger, middle finger, that and that. I don't know. I can't remember. I shouldn't even show that if I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, one of the things that I did, Fresh News 247, is that when I draw hands, which I'm not a hand drawing expert, is when I started drawing hands, what I did was I took Carlos Pacheco, I took his run on Fantastic Four and Mark Silvestri's work on like the Darkness and Cyberforce, and I think also Ron Friends' run on Thunderstrike, and I just looked at their hands. Eric Larson's Savage Dragon too. I looked at their hands, and I would just all the hands, and so I had like 2 or 3 pages of nothing but hands. And you got to sit down, my friend. You got to sit down, my friend, and just draw as many hands as you can. And you got to treat it like you got to solve this problem, or the world's going to end. So if the world does end, I know it's your fault. I know you're responsible because you didn't sit down and draw the hands. But I believe in you because this stuff for me is a struggle. Doesn't come naturally. It's a lot of hard work. But I just wanted to show you like it's all about breaking things down into simple shapes. Don't try to draw a hand right off the bat. You know what I mean? You gotta put that foundational structure down first and then build off that, I believe in you. Let's see. What other comments we got here? Can you imagine a rocker type person walking around today, laugh aloud, business in the front, party in the back? Well, let me tell you something. I'm glad that you brought that up because there is a movement going on right now in my hometown where I guess kids have watched stuff like Stranger Things and a lot of that stuff. Mullets are back. Did you hear me? Did you hear what I said? Mullets are back. And what happened was there's a couple of kids who are really hip and cool, and they can actually pull a mullet off, and in a hipster ain't the right word, but they're trendsetters. You know what I mean? So everybody else start growing mullets too because they think they're going to look cool like Johnny Dangerously here, but they don't. It was a lot like me in high school when I started wearing flannel because Kurt Cobain was a big hero and all this other stuff. I didn't look like Kurt Cobain. I looked like a redneck. You know, no offense to rednecks, just saying. That's what I look like. I look like I was getting ready to either mow your lawn or cut some lumber. I didn't look like I was getting ready to be a rock band in Seattle. And so there's like this thing going on where I live where all these kids are wearing mullets now. It's crazy. Who would have thought? Nothing wrong with pre-planning or pre-thinking before one takes action. I'm so behind on the comments. Sometimes less is more. Ink that floor as is, as if you penciled it and used not touched areas as lighting. Hmm. Well, what do you mean? I'm trying to think. So you think it's fine me just black out both the floor and the wall, or you want me to do like more of a scratchy thing? Uh, let's see. Robert says in reply to me talking about Mike Emmerich's Sisyphean complex. I think you're right. It's Sisyphean. Sisyphean. I was saying Sisyphean. I think I may have actually offended them a little bit. It's easy for me to do to people. For some reason, I have a knack for rubbing people the wrong way. I was calling it Sisyphean complex there for a while. I actually did fan art for it, but it's Sisyphean. I believe you're correct. First lesson in drawing hands, CB. So I broke one of my hands. Listen here, you turd. Uh, uh, if you're going to draw hands, the best reference you can use is a broken hand. So that way, you know, when you draw it, what looks like incorrectly, you can show people at comic book conventions who criticize you. It's like, hey, see that? That's what I used for reference. You can't say nothing, buddy. And they'll be like, so I see. And they'll be silenced. It doesn't matter how professional of an artist they'll be. Jim Lee will crawl into a corner when he sees these hands of violence. I karate kicked a man. Let's draw that. I always thought the middle finger was the most powerful too. It is. It is the absolute most powerful finger of the hand. Uh, and interestingly, just throwing this out there, not really super relevant, but in Hapkido, the weakest finger is this finger because it gets in the way of grabbing. Like, you know, like if you try, like I said before, like when you make a fist, it's like the meat of the hand pushes against its finger. These fingers coil in a lot more further. This one can't really do it. You know, it's a struggle. It's a struggle. It naturally wants to kind of pop out, you know. So like when you grab somebody in Hapkido, you're doing this, doing the finger pointing. So this is considered the weakest finger in Hapkido. Hapkido. Teach bots how to draw hands. Apocalypse solved. Apocalypse averted. Awesome. Not the blackout. Before you did the blackout. Hmm. So you think that I should leave this wall white and then have this floor be black? Is that what you're thinking? Stretch, stretch. Oh, stretch some more. Shoot. Need something bigger. Need something bigger than that. Too big. Just too big. What have I got laying around here that I can use? Got anything in these drawers? Oh, look what I found. I found an Ames guide for whenever I tried to learn to letter like a real pro. Oh, gosh, where's my? Got nothing, man. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna break all the rules, and I'm just gonna draw this freehand, baby. Our super excellent, fantastic buddy friend, Shinobi Tengu, says, bro, I need to see some ninjas drawn because it's much better than Hapkido. You son of a gun. Let me tell you something. One time ninjas broke into my house. This ain't a lie. I wouldn't lie to you like that. I broke into my house. They thought that they were going to take all my Hapkido books and burn them and all this other stuff, and all my bokens and my bows and all my other precious valuables. And they thought they were going to take my WILDCAT pages, and I went, and they came out there and they tried to sneak in the shadows. I'd grab the shadows. I grabbed their literal shadows, and I dragged the shadows which were attached to the ninjas. I broke them in half. I got all Macho Man Randy Savage up in here. I dropped elbow drops left and right. And then once I grabbed them by the wrist, I told them to stand still. Stick your hand out. I dare you. They did that. I grabbed their hand. I broke it in little pieces. I started with the fingers. I twisted this around, that around. I milked the mouse, baby. I milked the mouse all day long. They stuck the leg out. I frogged it. Frogged it with a phoenix fist. Head exploded. That's right. If you frog somebody in the leg, their head explodes. Don't explain to me how you think that's not possible, because it is. I was there. Let me tell you something. When I got done with those ninjas, there's blood everywhere. Blood, not my blood, their blood. I took what remains of their body parts and I fed it to my pit bull dog, who loves Hapkido as well. Just saying. But I like to see some ninjas draw because it's much better than Hapkido. Also, the broken hand. Liking the pages, looking good. Let's see what you're doing there. Let's see. I think the floor looks like the light hitting it from the window. I'm perplexed. Oh boy. Well, I tell you what. I know what I can do. What time I ponder this. Freehand circle, baby. Prepare to be amazed at my skill. Nobody can do freehand circles the way I can, because that's a thing. And you know what? Since WILDCAT knocked this lampshade off of the lamp, it don't have to be perfect. It can actually be dented and warped. So, you like them apples? Yeah. Let's see. Let some light hit the floors and help frame WILDCAT. And then you can hit him with some light from the window, if that is a window. I see what you've done there. It is a window. Absolutely. It's a window, I promise. It may not look like a window just yet, but it is one. Okay. I just figured that where the wall's right here, that maybe the light wouldn't be able to make it down toward the floor here at this angle. I'm thinking. I trust you, though. I believe in you. Let's see. I'm just going to go ahead and start uglying this lamp up. Put me in some, what is that guy's name? Um, shoot. What is his freaking name? J. Scott Campbell. It's something that he used to do a lot when he was doing Gen 13 is that he would do these little, I'm sorry, you do these little dot dashy things. Let's see here. I think what I'll do is I'll do like some little warp thing here. Yeah. Don't have to be perfect because after all this was knocked off the bed stand or whatever. And I think I'll kind of do this one kind of warp too. Or at least that's my train of thought. Sideburns writes, Ames ruler? That's cheating. Not like you, sir. I've seen you use rulers on your live streams. In this whole show, I've not used a ruler or you know, little circle guides or nothing. It's all been freehand because that's how I roll. That's the power that I have. You wouldn't catch me doing anything like that because, well, you know, that's just how it is. Because I don't have tools like that. It's when I do things, it's all it just flows right out. You be saying I'm cheating. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm butchering it. Shoot. Ah. Okay, whatever. Let's see here. Let's just do that. Okay. I think I sort of saved the day, but we're gonna say I didn't. I don't know. Boom, 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 boom. Shinobi Tengu writes, Shaddus. That's right. Out of the shadows. Out of the shadows, those ninjas think they was going to come at me. But when you train in Hapkido, okay, you develop these six senses. You develop senses that help you see in the dark, like Predator. You know, and I just saw them moving around. They thought they were being sneaky, but like the whole time I saw them tiptoeing, doing all this other foolishness, and I just I put an end to it. I put it into the reign of terror. CB Smollett versus Ninjas is a comic I need to see. Well, I don't know. I can't legally put my exploits into comic book form because I could get into some trouble because these ninjas probably had family and Yakuza back in Japan, you know, that sort of thing that we're not too pleased that I easily disposed of them, you know, and, you know, dealing with ninjas and the law is two different things. So I better not do that. The most famous line in any action movie is, it's not my blood. I guess so. You know, I guess that's right up there with it. It's just a flesh wound. Oh, it's nothing. It's just a flesh wound. Think about reflected light. I'm looking. I guess so. Also this lamp will be giving off light too. Okay. Let me see here. CB versus ninjas. I can help make that happen. I would love for that to happen. Yes, absolutely. I would love to grab a hold of some ninjas and show them the ways of Hapkido. Yeah, been watching some Hapkido videos here lately, and I keep seeing like these little awesome techniques. Like usually, like you watch a Hapkido video and somebody's showing like I don't know 20 techniques or something, and then you'll see one in there where somebody's like doing it like really well, and you're like, I need to make a mental note of that. But I don't have people to practice with to to get that down. But if ninjas show back up, I promise you, I'm gonna lay the smacker down. They won't know what hit them. Oh, they'll know it was me that hit them. Let me rephrase that. They'll know it was me that hit them. They just didn't know that the power of Hapkido. Fun fact, in Star Wars, the what allowed Emperor Palpatine to grow so powerful wasn't so much that he was a Sith Lord. He was a Hapkido master. He was a ninth degree black belt, which is the highest that you can go in Hapkido. That's what helped him to get to unlimited power. All right, got one slipper in, or whatever people want to call that. All right, so I am laughing my @ sign with $2 off over here. Excellent. Those ninjas, they don't know the gauntlet they were walking into. That's right. It's I provide a gauntlet, or I prefer a prism, a rainbow of pain. It's like a whole spectrum of pain over here, a different flavor, a different color of pain that the last bunch of ninjas, tried to try their luck, and didn't end well for them. They got cocky. They thought because they could do their Yoko Aruki and sneak around, throw some ninja stars, they were hot stuff. But the thing they didn't realize is when you do Hapkido, you don't worry about ninja stars. No, you harden your body to the point where when you get hit, wow, you don't really notice it. It feels like gnats. Kind of feels like a gnat that kind of stings you, or at the most like a horse fly. So you could be covered in ninja stars, but the power of Hapkido makes you like breathe air in, hold it, and then the ninja stars explode from your body and go right back into the ninjas who have not properly trained to harden their bodies, and so most of them die right away from that. But there's a lot of Hapkido secrets. A lot of stuff. I know how you broke your hand. You punched a ninja. Oh, and that might be true. I think that might be accurate. Now, the first time I injured my hand, I hit it on top of this guy's head, and I was told later when he didn't show back up to school that he had like the world's biggest pop knot on top of his head. So I like to think that since I broke his hand, that I fractured his skull. I don't want him to die or nothing like that. Not like the ninjas; they deserve it, but still. But I think that was from the ninja attack. You hear that? Shouldn't do that. This one sort of does that. Yeah, it does that too. So I guess it does. I guess it should do that. Pow, 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 pow. Ah, there's your next Wildcat t-shirt design. Punch a Ninja. Text with some Wildcat art. I actually have a Wildcat story featuring chainsaw ninjas. So that would work. That would work out great. Punch a Ninja. Bum 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 dun. I was watching a video here lately. I'm always watching videos, by the way. It's just my thing. Got a bunch of stuff pulled up. One's this guy who's got this very Midwestern voice. I love Midwestern voices. I love all voices, accents, I should say, Midwestern accent. But Midwestern accents are just so big sounding. They have a slight properness, but not too proper. Uh, Something very hearty about them. And this guy does these videos, and there's one video where he talks about like a lot of like how these John Wayne movies were made, or Clint Eastwood movies, or stuff with like Charlton Heston, or just whatever, just a bunch of stuff like that. But that's not the video I was going to talk to you about. I got that one pulled up to watch. It's fantastic stuff. But I was actually watching about this. Kind of looks like a hipster. One of these guys that for some have got their life so well together that they can actually travel the world and see a lot of stuff and get into a lot of things. I've watched some awesome footage from one guy who's actually traveled to Afghanistan and Iraq and Iran, and shows you the nightlife and all this other stuff. I love that stuff. It's great. Well, this one guy, this one video I was watching, he actually traveled to Chernobyl, and I don't know. It's a multi-part series that he's got it broken up into, and um, there's like this tourist thing. I don't know if it's a tourist thing or not, but I didn't know they was actually doing like anything that was remotely tourist-like when it came to Chernobyl. In I guess it's Ukraine. I think it's Ukraine. Um, anyway, him and I guess a group of scientists slash researchers, and him just being a vlogger, took a train ride, and it was the exact same train that the people in back when Chernobyl was in operation. I guess what was it, in the 80s, and took that same train that workers that would take, and he had this Geiger counter, and it was about halfway there, it started picking up radiation and making all these sounds. So either Godzilla was going to show up or they were getting close to Chernobyl, and they get there. One thing is, for those that don't know, and they did this like a couple of years ago, I'm not for sure. The actual site of Chernobyl, where the power plant blew up, the part that blew up, they actually covered it with a big dome. Kind of looks like dome's not the right word, but like like those hangars that they used to have back in World War II and stuff like that, where they'd have planes, these big, that type of shape. Well, they built one over the Chernobyl power plant that blew up. But I remember reading an article. Now, this isn't talked about in the video, or at least not yet. But I remember reading a article where radiation has actually went down dramatically in that area. There's all kinds of plants, wildlife, and all this other stuff that regularly, inhabit whatever called Chernobyl home. And I was trying to think. I'm sorry, but radiation was going down, but since they put the dome up, actually radiation and heat are starting to go up again. And the most likely culprit is like where they're not allowing the rainwater to go into the power plant. It's not cooling the fuel rods and stuff like that, and the nuclear fuel, or whatever that's in the power plant, because even though it's been since the 80s, and what is it, 90s, zeros, 10, 20s, it's been about 40 years or more. It's not producing nuclear energy, but it's giving off, it's still doing its thing. You know what I mean? Still doing its thing, and so it needs water to keep it cool. And they're not pumping water into it, as far as I know, to keep it cool. And so since they bent the dome up, there's no rainwater getting in there to cool that stuff off. I understand why they probably built the dome, though. They want to contain the radiation. They want to make it safe for people. I get that. But sometimes there's unattended consequences. You don't necessarily want that rainwater either to get mixed in with the populace. That's not good. Don't need mutants. That's right. I don't believe in the X-Men. I'm all about Trask and Nimrods and Friends of Humanity and all that other stuff. Mutants are a menace to society. Those hipsters can pull off a long scarf and look like a TV show. They can. Those. I tell you what, those hipsters that do these YouTube shows where they travel the world and stuff like that, I really do admire them. They got it down. They got it down pat. They always have the same look, though. They have a beard, which I guess everybody has a beard nowadays. They have a beard, and about half of them have long hair, man buns. Scarf has to be part of the look, and they're just so freaking happy. So freaking happy. I don't know if it's a Kentucky thing or whatever, but I feel like we have a lot in common with Russians. It's like when we see people that's happy, it's like, what are you so happy about? Why? Why do you have happiness? Should you not be miserable? I don't know. I shouldn't say that about all of Kentucky. There's like different regions of Kentucky. A lot of people don't understand that the state's actually it's a multicultural state made up of a lot of people that don't like each other, apparently, especially when it comes to sports. The Louisville, if Louisville could, they would break off and be their own state. That's how much they love the state of Kentucky. They really don't like Kentucky, and they really don't like southern and southeastern Kentucky. That's not their thing. Western Kentucky is kind of like they got their own thing going on too. And southeastern Kentucky is Appalachian, but it's like a different type of Appalachian, because when you compare Um, I think we got more of a English, Scottish, and Irish heritage. But once you start getting out to like Virginia and West Virginia, out in the Appalachians toward there, they've got like German and gosh, I don't know what all else. A lot of things to them. I thought about putting a little bit of the folklore of like Appalachian folklore in the Wildcat comic. The official one, the Dead Man Walking one. There's lots of interesting stuff. I mean, like when I got sick when I was about 3 or 4 years old, I can't remember. I got really bad sick, and my mother she took a tree branch from a certain type of tree, and she took and nailed it up um, over the door frame, and you just leave it there, and it's supposed to help, with a prayer, I think, and heals your child or whatever. I know there's people like in Virginia, West Virginia, out that way. They've got their own little things that they do too, and there's some that they take, they say a prayer, and they take like I think it's like an iron nail, and they drive it into a tree, say a prayer, and they do something else. I can't remember. There's like all kinds of these things. this this uh, this interesting stuff that people do that they brought from the old world to here. Let's see what we got here. The Chernobyl meltdown wouldn't have happened if they had ninjas on staff. Well, I don't know. I think maybe Chernobyl happened because there were ninjas. I think that's kind of like what ninjas do. Ninjas don't really fix anything. They cause havoc wherever they go. Or assassinating people and doing all sorts of stuff, being stealthy and gathering intelligence and you know, I'd say that uh, they probably sabotaged Chernobyl. They caused the meltdown. If only there was some good Hapkido man there, a good Hapkido man, one Hapkido man could have easily thwarted that whole disaster. But we saw how that turned out. It's a painful mistake that Russia had to learn. I got it. CB Smallwood is called in to investigate the disappearance of a research team into Chernobyl. He is met with mutated Yakuza ninjas that had been taken over by beasts from another dimension. Yes. Uh, I think that's the way to go. If we do a CB Smallwood versus Ninja story, it's going to have to be a fictitious one because again, don't want to get in legal trouble. Because the epic, well, it wasn't really an epic battle. I laid waste to those ninjas very easily. A lot of backhand slaps, you know. They didn't condition their bodies, they didn't harden their bodies like a good Hapkido man does. They didn't practice the eagle claw. So they weren't ready. I was never ready when I grabbed a hold of them. I grabbed a hold, I drug those fingers right in their flesh. And they couldn't break free because they never practiced breakaways. So I broke them. I broke them all the way. That's the power of Hapkido. It's up to CB to stop them and close the portal forever. Hapkido guys can't stop meltdown with broken hands. Well, that's the thing, good Hapkido man, he trains every part of his body to be an extension of his true self. He summons all that key power. And so I could turn this hand into a key hand and single-handedly stop any type of meltdown. Yeah. You just don't understand, man. Don't understand. Let's see what we got here. All right. I made a little headway so far in this drawing. Inking a little here and there. I'm dodging all the all the uncertain areas because I just don't know what I'm gonna do until I do it. Mm-mm-mm. Curly, 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 curly. Hmm. Okay, I guess. I don't know what the heck I draw there. Oh man. There's nothing sweeter than butchering some art. I love it. Hapkido needs key hand to unlock the power. Ninjas are born with power. Well, uh, according to everybody in the martial arts community, uh, uh, the only power that ninjas have is girl power because they're broken down like little schoolgirls, especially when they meet a good Hapkido man. Good Hapkido man just takes them, breaks that, grabs their fingers, backhands, pyaw, and then here's a good one, pyaw, and they just go. They scatter like the four winds because they didn't harden their bodies like a good Hapkido man, so the wind literally blows them away. The paper tigers compared to the real deer. That's right, the real deer, the real deal. Hear me roar. Roar. That's a tiger roar. You have to train for that. Unless you're an unskilled white in the 80s and Lee Van Cleef shows up at your door. He did it once, but I didn't answer. Not because I fear Lee Van Cleef. It's I was busy at the time. White guy, unskilled white guy. Damn my tapping hands. I tell you what I miss. I miss martial art magazines. They're drying up. They're going out of business. Taekwondo Times will no longer publish physical copies. Black Belt Magazine, the time is coming for them. Whatever happened to Masters Magazine? Good old Tak Kubota, Against the Grain. Yeah! I bet he learned from a Hapkido man how to do that. The Faces of Shaolin, remembering Master Nishiyama, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Ten Guinaha, Ten. That's some old shinobi words. Best rootin' training ground, only $9. And the cool thing with this is like the first like 10 issues of this, they come with a DVD. So you got extra stuff, full of interviews and techniques and stuff like that. So you actually got a lot of cool things. Masters Magazine was such a good martial art magazine. Like here, they got a Cook Soul guy, but his thing wasn't Cook Soul. A lot of people break off from Cook Soul and they go do their own thing. There's a eulogy to Hidetaka Nishiyama. Hidetaka, I don't know how to pronounce his name exactly. I think he's a Shotokan guy. Could be wrong. Shotokan owns the world in karate. I'm not saying that it's the best. I'm just saying it's just everywhere. It's just everywhere. Look at this guy. He's got it down pat. Got the power of the horse stance. And Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys always choking people. What's up with that? What's up with that? Let's do a karate kick. There's Pedro Sauer, whatever, selling a looks like seminars or black belt course. Letters from the Dragon. Yeah, but I love stuff like this. I mean, like in the like in the '90s, growing up, that there was horror magazines and martial art magazines and all these so many great things, and like you can't really find stuff anymore like you used to. Everybody's going out of business, or they just they either got out of it because everything just kind of collapsed in the '90s, or nobody was buying their stuff except for me. Yeah, so, oh, you remember earlier when I was talking about the fingers? But I think he's doing that on purpose. He's got like a phoenix fist going on here, and uh, he's doing like a Boshikin with his first finger instead of his thumb. That's kind of like his thing. Yeah, that's the face I made when I faced off with those ninjas. And when they saw that, about half of them scattered. I ain't telling you no lie. Dun, dun, dun. I thought this was a Hungar guy for a second. There's a Hungar guy looks just like him. I was like, what? He does Wing Chun too. But no, I was wrong. It's long way. I had my kung fu guys mixed up. But man, I miss stuff like this. Oh, here's that Kuk Su guy I was telling you about. He was 5 years old. He was in a cave, shivering from the cold, hungry, scared, and alone. His grandfather had told him to run and hide, assuring the young boy that he was going to be okay. He warned the boy, however, that he must stay still and quiet. He always did what his grandfather asked, but in his mind he had many questions. How long will I have to stay here? Are there any scary animals in the cave? When can I go home? What will I eat? But mostly he wanted to know, who are these men and why do they want to kill me? The young boy was Sun Tae Yang, or it's probably Sun Tae Yang. I'm going to say it's Young. Sun Tae Yang. The setting was a long and bloody Korean War where the North and South battled for control of the country. Master Yang, now a ninth degree black belt, grandmaster, and founder of the International Kung Jung Musul Federation, reflects on those days. Say you can't get that stuff anymore. It's hard to find. There's some fan techniques. That's something that Kuksu guys like to do when they break off and they found their own style. They call it a different name. They always like to do demonstrations with the fan because that's apparently like something that grandmasters and Kuksu love to do. Those fan techniques. Ooh, we got some the art of breaking. I need to learn to break better. I only know how to break ninjas for the most part. Break them real good. All right. Look at this badass. Ah, look at that. He's cutting the can forehand. Is that what he's doing? Using a sharp pen, scribe a line through the center of the can of club soda that gives the can a weaker place where it will break. That wouldn't fly in Korea. All right. These Koreans, true Hapkido masters, they ain't gonna take a little razor blade or a pen and do that. No. They do that with pure Hapkido power. Not like this guy. Where he messed up, he's a white guy. You ain't got no Korean power, buddy. You need to learn from a Korean master. Learn to do it right. I think this guy's a Kempo guy. Am I right? I'm probably wrong. Let's see. No, no, he is a Goju guy. He looks just like a Kempo guy I saw. All right, I'm gonna quit flipping through this. I just thought it was a good break, a good reprieve. Here's Kung Fu Man. What's he do? Wushu? Hu Jinquang? Zhuangquang? From Wushu champion to cultural ambassador. We love our Wushu. Loving this tiger stuff. I'm all about that. If there was a Wushu guy that moved into town, I'd learn Wushu. You better believe it. Look at these guys. That's Hapkido. He just don't know it yet. Look at there. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and their fetish for choking people. What's the deal with that? Do they have no shame? See, look at this karate guy. He knows what's up. He ain't wasting time with no chokes. Death blow right there. Ah, here he is. Nothing like a good fold out spread of Larry. What is Larry's name? What is Larry's name? What page is this? 101. What is Larry's name? Let's see. Come on, man. Where's the index at in this bad boy? You mean you ain't got one? 100 and master points, Kempo karate. It don't say. It skipped right over it. Well, I know. I'm pretty sure his name is Larry. Okay. Mastering points, Kempo karate. I'd love to learn Kempo. It's awesome. Okay. The chin is slightly tucked downward to prevent unnecessary exposure for attack. Number 2, the hands are positioned in the center line of the body to cover the vital points of the center of the body. Yeah. Some good advice there. The hands are semi-open to facilitate transitions from defenses to counterattacks. That's good. Elbows are tucked in to maintain inside of the body perimeters for economic attack. Yeah, that's all good stuff. All good stuff. Wish I could remember what Larry's name is. He's one of Ed Parker's senior students. See, in a martial art book, you don't get no fold out of no scantily clad women. You get warriors. Look at that warrior. Get ultimate warriors. Oh, there's Bass Rutten. Love Bass Rutten. He's a cool guy. Look at them stretches. Can't stretch like that. Only Hapkido man can. He must know Hapkido. Memories of my sensei, Takahiko Ishikawa. All right, I'm going to take a guess. He's either, without reading it, I'm going to say he's either Aikido or Judo. Let's see if I'm right. First man in Japan after I became a Shodan, first degree black belt, and thus was allowed to work at the Keishicho Tokyo Police Dojo. Knife Dan in what? What's he knife Dan in? Karate. It's karate. No. Judo. He's judo man. Yeah, he's a judo guy. Okay, I was right. I'll take that. Yeah. Two Faces of Shaolin. Yeah, this was a good magazine. I love that. You know, I got that one, that one, that one. I think I have this one. Not sure if I have that one, but I got that one. And I didn't get these because the Books Million didn't have them. Those were great. The days when magazines were magazines. Let's see here. Answer some belated comments that I've got not got to. That show with Lee Van Cleef, that masterpiece was called The Master. As a white man myself, I approve of this stream. Oh, I like that. Well, we got to be careful, guys, because literally, the current administration is actually got agents looking for anybody that has any hints of self-identifying themselves as white. It can lead to a lot of trouble. There's only so much a keto man can defend. The whole government would be problematic. Chaka Khan, let me Rocky Chaka Khan. That's all I want to do. Shinobi Tengu writes, somebody could make a magazine themselves. It could be a great, only if it featured ninjas. Could name it Warrior's Edge. Well, interesting thing. It's a funny thing, in my my humble little magazine called The Warrior's Edge, martial arts magazine. There's a guy who actually had a column, who was a Hapkido guy, ironically, who had a column called Your Warrior's Edge. I think he wanted to throw up a fuss, but then he saw how powerful my Hapkido was and how laid back I was, so he just he didn't kick up much of a fuss. But he did kind of offer in his own way to do an article in my magazine thing. But I was telling him, that I'm not sure the legalities of things, because where he's published by Taekwondo Times and Black Belt Magazine, that I'm not sure if he needs to present something different in mine or whatever. I don't know, but I was open to it. Weird. Not weird. I'm just being weird. That sounds like WILDCAT internal dialogue, CB. I always have WILDCAT internal dialogue going on. Let's see. Kempo, Ed Parker. Yeah, I like Kempo. I like Ed Parker's Kempo and all the guys that studied Kempo under him. I would literally study just about any style in Kempo. But there's some that I would prefer more than others. Like I don't want to get in one where they're doing a lot of slapping. They do a lot of this sound effects that they do when they slap themselves as they're doing all these hits and stuff. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just added it's a nice little effect. But a lot of what I try to do or try to study is practicality. I'm willing to study things that may have some impractical elements, but as long as it's not overly impractical, because then I'm doing more work trying to make something practical when it should work out of the box to begin with. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I'd love to learn Ed Parker Kempo, and the earlier styles of Ed Parker Kempo tend to be a lot looser, and then the later styles of Ed Parker Kempo that came about the later term of his life was more structured and organized. So there's two competing trains of thought. It's interesting. And the answer to my earlier question, the guy in that spread, that Kempo master, is Larry Tatum. So I was right. It was Larry. I just couldn't think of Larry's last name. Thank you. So I think we're coming to the point where we're going to end the stream. I need to deliberate. I should have got a lot more done ink and wise than what I did. But I got this panel down here inked. I got this blacked out. Let's see. What else did I did a little bit of this crap, and oh yeah. I did the flowers on the mattress, so I got that. So I'm about 70% done with this page, maybe, I guess. Let's see. I think whenever I get off here, I'll probably watch me a little bit of YouTube, get me something to snack on. Uh, Contemplate the WILDCAT Anthology advertisement that I was going to put together, which I got like kind of like the wonky semi retro made in a garage New Empire Comics logo intro video done. What else? What else? What else? The work on the WILDCAT. What is it called? What are that? Rough cut. The releasing of the failed Indiegogo campaign comic book of WILDCAT, which I renamed WILDCAT Rough Cut One Shot. And it's coming together slowly but surely. And the only reason it's coming together slowly is because I'm what am I doing? I'm writing. I'm writing as I later it, you know. Because the original lettering, the original script that I had for it, which only had like I can't remember if it was 14 pages of it done anyway. I put too much dialogue in places where it just couldn't fit. You know, I really wanted that really Alan Moore-ish type of dialogue, you know, and the amount of space that I actually have in the panels doesn't allow for it for the script that I did. So as I'm lettering it, I am writing it. As I'm writing, I'm lettering. I'm doing both at the same time, which is working out great for me. But it's just like something that's just slow, and I'm having to really consider what I can fit in and what I can't, and what type of story I'm wanting to tell, you know, script wise. But the progress is on that is slow but steady. And so once I get done with that, I'll release it out to free to everybody and digitally, and save me up some little bit of money. And what I'd like to do, plan on doing, is for the 20 or 30 or so backers of the original campaign, even though they were all refunded, I'd like to go ahead and get that book out to them for free. Just send it out to them for free. And let's see what else though I got going on. It's interesting. I'm excited to eventually get to when this is all done, working on Super American. But first, I think I really am going to do the Top Cow talent hunt and try to get my foot in the door. My goal is to at least uh, uh, be the runner up where I get $250 and do a 7-page backup. You know, I don't mind somebody else being the superstar as long as I can get printed and get started. I'll become a superstar in my own right through a little bit of hard work and effort and have keto power. So let's see. Answer a few comments. Shinobi Tengu Rats forget the Kempo. Just be a ninja. Much love, bro. Get work on the page. I got to commute in a few. Give me a call if you get bored. Okay, will do. I'll probably I'll probably call you a little bit after I get off here, I guess. And yeah, be safe. Be safe with your long drive. Oh, my phone's dying. It's got 5%. I might not be calling you after all. All right, guys. Much love. I appreciate you all tuning in and hanging out. And as I usually say, please remember to be the tide that rises all ships, to be the change that you want to see. My newest phrase is be brave and be bold, and mighty forces will come to your aid. Or at least I hope so. Carpe diem, my friends. Seize the day. And CB Smallwood will hopefully see you in the next video. Dabba dabba dabba. Cue the outro. Jiggy 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 jiggy.